Well, happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope you are doing well wherever you are. If you're in the Northeast, I hope you're not snowed in too badly. I know what you're going through, sort of. We were in a snow slash ice again about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So, been there, done that. Don't have a T-shirt for it, but I have been there and done that. We are now second game on the Sunday, June the 14th, 1987 date. Takes us to Yankee Stadium. Game number 418 overall in the replay. Milwaukee Brewers, New York Yankees. Teddy Higuera against Ron Guidry, a couple of lefties. In the real game, Yankees led it 4-3 into the ninth inning. Dave Righetti came on and gave up 3 runs and blew the save, took the loss, and the Brewers won it 6-4. Brewers come to the game 38-19. New York comes in 36-25. And again, 2 lefties on the mound, Ron Guidry and Teddy Higuera are your starting pitchers in this one. Didn't do a very good job here on my. I had written 2 here, and I meant to write 1. So Teddy Higuera's, if I can get my little correction tape thing to work right. Teddy Higuera actually has a +1 for his overall hold rating. Guidry rather. Guidry is a +2. Cerrone's a -1 for a +1. Higuera's is a -1 hold, but Schroeder's a +1 arm, so it nets to a 0. Singles in Yankee Stadium, symmetrically, 1-7. Home runs, 1 extra advantage to a lefty, 1-9, 1-8 for righties. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Colin. Happy Tuesday to you. Had a little bit late this morning. Had Tabby wanted some attention. Then I had some trouble with Xfinity not wanting to start up, or either it was YouTube. One of the two. It was one of those things that didn't want to work properly for me. So I'm hoping we're going to avoid the circles in the sand. We don't need that right now. That's for sure. I do have the game up on the Strat computer, so we are ready to go. Hello, Bart, or Bartlow. I'm not sure which way I should be addressing you in that fashion, but good morning to you. Ron Guidry started the season in the bullpen. Now he's in the rotation. He hasn't had much activity. He's 1-0 with a 5.40 ERA in the replay. Just 13 innings pitched, 12 hits, 4 walks, 10 strikeouts. Bart is good. All right, cool. In the real season, Guidry was 5-8 with a 3.67 ERA. So we'll get Guidry right there in his spot. And leading off for the Brew Crew. And again, Dave Winfield is on the bench. He's on the roster. I don't know why he's not playing. I don't know if he has a nagging injury or whatever the case may be. But Dan Pasqua is in right field for Winfield. He is on the bench. He can pinch hit if need be. Same with Paul Molitor of the Brewers. He's on the roster. He's on the bench, but he's not starting. So I don't know what maybe it's a nagging injury thing or something. I don't know for sure. Hello there, Mr. Tim. Good to see you. So before we get this ball game underway, before the first pitch, of course, ceremonial first sip. Have to have the ceremonial first sip. Can't get by without it. And as Mr. Goodman would say, that's some good coffee. In fact, it's so good, I'm going to take a second sip. For the double dipping, this is double sipping. It's just that good. All right, so Mike Felder is going to lead off for the Brew Crew. He's hitting 349 on the replay. Limited duty, only 43 at bats. In no homers, a run driven in the real world, he hit 266. Switch hitter, batting right-handed against Ron Guidry. And we're underway from Yankee Stadium, 2-7. And that is a fly ball to left field. That's going to be handled out there by the newly acquired Mike Easler. One roster note for the Yankees as well. Former relief pitcher of theirs, Bob Shirley, was released. And the Kansas City Royals picked him up yesterday, June the 13th. So he will be in the bullpen for Kansas City's game this week against the Angels. You will see former Yankee Bob Shirley in the Royal bullpen. That'll definitely help their bullpen, because their bullpen has definitely been overworked and taxed, and really didn't want to use them because they were so overworked. But now Bob Shirley can eat some of those innings that they need to have eaten. So that will certainly help them. All right, Robin Yount hitting 310 on the replay, 12 homers, 45 driven in. He hit 312 real world. 2-9 for Yount. He's going to ground it to short, and that is Wayne Tollison making the play. So 2 up and 2 down for Ron Guidry. And that'll bring up Cecil Cooper. I guess Treblehorn was a Cooper believer early in this part of the season, because he's putting him in there every day in the number 3 position at designated hitter, lefty or righty starter, notwithstanding. So Cooper on the replay is only hitting .206, 6 homers, 20 driven in. He hit .248 real world. Lefty, lefty. Whoa, we got hopping dice. We're going to re-roll that one again. We got these jumping dice around here. 2-6. That's ground ball to second. Randolph will make the play, and Ron Guidry, a 1-2-3 first inning for Mr. Guidry. Very easy for Guidry in the first inning. Something about that Milwaukee lineup just doesn't have the same luster without Paul Molitor leading off. It just seems to be that way. I guess eventually he will come back and be in the starting lineup. So Teddy Higuera is on the mound for the Brew Crew. Higuera in the replay, 5-4 with a 3.75 ERA, 94 innings pitched, 87 hits, 37 walks, 94 strikeouts. He was 18-10 with a 3.85 ERA real world. And the venerable Willie Randolph will lead off. He's hitting .274 on the replay. 3 homers, 26 driven in, hit .305 real world. That's a 6-6, and that's going to be a 1-4 single. Double dies an 8, so he'll line it right to the shortstop, Castillo. Brewers are finally giving Dale Swain a day off. This is the first time I can remember Dale Swain not in the starting lineup. So on this Sunday afternoon, June the 14th, 1987, they are putting Castillo at shortstop. Also, Rob Deere is at first base in this game. It's one of the rare times I've seen Rob Deere play first base. So Treblehorn really shuffling that lineup quite a bit. Here's Henry Cotto. Cotto in center field, while Ricky Henderson and Don Madley both are still nursing injuries. Cotto hitting 107 on the replay, 28 at bats, a homer, 2 driven in. He hit .235 real world. 1-5 for Cotto. He's going to pop it up to short, and Castillo will make another play. So two lofty pop-ups, humpback liner and a pop-up right to the Castillo. So he's getting his early baptism into shortstop. 2 quick putouts. Here's Gary Ward, mostly left fielder, but playing first base in the absence of Mattingly. Ward hitting .211 on the replay, 7 homers, 26 driven in. He hit .248 real world. 3-8, and that's going to be a ground ball to third. So see, if I remember correctly, all 6 at-bats came off the batter's cards, and they all were outs. That's kind of an unusual thing, because the conventional wisdom is if it's off the batter card, it's an advantage to the batter. If it's off the pitcher card, it's an advantage to the pitcher. At least that's the conventional wisdom. But it doesn't always work out that way. Top of the second we go. And Rob Deere playing first base in this one. Mainly left field, sometimes right field, but he did play first base. He's a 4.24 as a first baseman. And Deere hitting .233, 6 homers, 31 driven in the replay. Hit .238 real world. 4-6, finally off the pitcher card. 4-6, and that's a strikeout for Ron Guidry. There's a dot there, but obviously second inning, he's not going to be tired. And Deere is out of there. One away for Jim Pashorek, who's playing third base in the absence of Molitor. Pashorek is hitting .238, 1 homer, 9 driven in. He hit did he hit .238 real world? No, he hit .228 real world. Okay. .228 real world, hit .238 in the replay. 1-7, and that is a straight out single. First hit of the game belongs to Jim Pashorek. Pashorek, no threat to run, will not be held. And that brings up Glenn Braggs, the right fielder. Braggs on the replay hitting .282, 7 homers, 32 driven in. He hit .269 in the real season. First havoc roll of the game. 1-8 for Braggs, and that's a strikeout for Ron Guidry. Strikeout number 2 for the Louisiana Lightning. 2 down, and that's going to send us to the catcher, Bill Schroeder. Schroeder on the replay hitting .267, 3 homers, 13 driven in, but he hit .332 in the real season. 4-8, and that's going to be a double 1-14. That's a 17, though, so he'll settle with a single. It is a 2-star single. And that will put Paciorek over at third base. So runners on the corners now with 2 outs, and now a clutch situation for Jim Gantner, second baseman, left-handed hitter. Gantner on the replay is hitting 284, homer 13 driven in. He hit 272 real world. They are not holding Schroeder on, obviously. 6-8 for Guidry is a base on balls. It's going to, I'm sorry, that's lefty. 6-8 is a single. You wish it was a walk, but now a single is going to bring home a run on a 6-8 versus a lefty. That's a single to right field. Schroeder does not run well. They'll hold him at second, but scoring is Paciorek. And the Brewers lead it 1-0. RBI single from Jim Gantner. Brewers lead it 1-0. And here comes the switch hitting Juan Castillo, mainly second base, sometimes third, but he does play short once in a while, and not very well, 4.48. So on the season, he's hitting 193 in the replay, no homers, 10 driven in. He hit 224 real world. Again, a clutch situation, and against lefties, he loses a hit on 112 and on 310. 5-3, switch hitter batting right-handed. The ground ball first base X. Normally, you think that's to Mattingly, and it's no issue, but this is to Gary Ward. He's a 4E13. 4-15. He got lucky there. So we'll go to our condensed little charts here. 4 and a 15. That's a G3 or G2 actually. G2, and that's a 9, and he is an E13 at first base. E13, there's 11, 13, and 17, but no 9. So Ward will field it and flip to Guidry covering to end the inning. But the Brew Crew strike first, and we go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Milwaukee. Here on a Sunday afternoon from Yankee Stadium. Hello, Jason. I don't know what's going on with Malter. He's on the bench. He's available, but they're not using him, and you would think against a lefty they would, but I don't know. You have to go back in 1987 and ask Tom Troublehorn. Maybe it's one of these things where, maybe they get one good. I'm going to use him as a pinch hitter regardless because he's on the roster. So if he's on the roster, he's available. I don't know the day-to-day history of the team, as to what his situation was, but my rule is if he's on the roster, he's fair game to be used. Something here. This computer doesn't like the combination of outs I put in there, so let's see what it says here. Oh, I got to move him to third base. Okay. With 2 guys at second base, we don't want that. So there we go. Now we're straight. All right, so Ron Kittle, the designated hitter, will lead off for the Yankees. Kittle hitting 292 on the replay, 11 homers, 26 driven in. He at 277 real world. That's a 5-6, and that's a double 1-12. That's a 2. So Ron Kittle takes advantage of the favorable D20 and gets the double. He doesn't run well at all, run a 9, so it's going to take some doing to get him home. Single 2 stars is what it's going to take. Here's Mike Easler. He's only had 6 at-bats as a Yankee coming over from the Phillies. So he's hitting 167, 1 out of 6. Does have a run batted in. In the real season, he hit 281. First havoc roll for Higuera. Nothing going on. 3-6 lefty-lefty matchup is a strikeout. So Teddy Higuera gets his first strikeout. 1 away for Dan Pasqua. It's very unusual for the Yankees to have 3 left-handed hitters in the lineup against Teddy Higuera. Normally you would not do that. But obviously Pinella had a reason for it. Here's Pasqua hitting 232 on the replay, 11 homers, 22 driven in. He hit 233 real world. Pasqua, 4-8, and that's a strikeout for Higuera. Strikeout number 2. 2 in a row, actually. First 2 strikeouts come right back to back. And right now, Kittle's still stuck at second base with 2 outs. Clutch situation for Rick Cerrone, the catcher. And against the lefty, Cerrone will lose a couple of hits, 3-7 and 3-8. So got to be careful with those. On the replay, Cerrone hitting 257, 3 homers, 14 driven in. He hit 243 real world. 2-6, and that's a fly ball to center. So the leadoff double doesn't amount to anything as Higuera pitches around it. At the end of 2, it is Milwaukee 1 and the Yankees nothing. Hello, Robert. Glad to see you could catch one. Like I said, a little late this morning due to a couple of reasons, but one of the bigger reasons is something named Tabby, but also was having a little bit of trouble with either Xfinity or YouTube not wanting to start up right. So a couple different things that pushed it back a little bit, almost a half hour late compared to what I wanted to do. All right, so we're back to the top of the order for the Brew Crew. Mike Felder, he flew to left field his first time up. 1-4 against the lefty is a triple, a straight-out triple. You don't see many of those, but a straight-out triple on Mike Felder's card. Felder had 7 triples in 289 at-bats real world. So I guess that gave him he's got the same thing against righties. That 1-4 is a straight-out triple. So, wow, don't see those very often. Usually it takes a D20 roll to get a triple, but this is a straight-out triple right there for Mike Felder. Now he's at third base with nobody out, and Robin Yount, the batter. And I tell you what, the Yankees, with their offensive woes, I wouldn't normally do this, but we're going to play the infield in because they just don't think they're going to score a lot of runs. So Robin Yount is your batter. Infield is in. 6-9. 1 is a single. 1-6 is a single. That's an 11. So he lines it to short. Not Meacham, but Tollison will make the grab. 1 down. Of course, the Yankees will keep the infield in against Cecil Cooper. They don't want any cheap ground ball Bs or anything scoring runs. So Cooper, ground ball to Randolph last time up. 5-11, and that is a ground ball short. I'm sorry, 5-11 is here. Ground ball first base X. That's rough because, again, Ward is a 4E13. Again, if you had Mattingly there, you would think no problem, but Ward there is definitely a problem. But 16 might help him, though. So a 4 and a 16 at first base is a G2, and that's an 11, and he's an E13 at first base. No, there is an 11 right there. There you go. Gary Ward just blew it. He's an E13 at first base. E13, and there's an 11 sitting right there. So a G2 would have been interesting with the infield in. I don't know what, let me see what that would have done here. G2, infield in, runner at third. They would have gotten the lead dog at the plate, but Ward blew it. He booted it. Instead of getting the lead runner will score. And it's now 2-0 favor the Brewers. So right there, the Mattingly effect just came into full force right there. That would have been a play at the plate that they would have gotten Felder on. But because of the error by Mr. Ward, they get nothing. No soup for you. Here's Rob Deere. 6-8 for Guidry. That's a walk. And the inning will continue with only 1 out and now 2 on. Yankees have to make sure that error doesn't implode at 3 or 4 runs. Guidry's got to minimize the damage, keep his team in the game. You're not going to get many runs off Higuera, most likely. Here's Paciorek, especially with their anemic offense as of late. 5-5, and that's a fly ball to left field. So Easler will haul that in, 2 down. Still not out of the woods yet. You got Glenn Braggs, a tough hitter, coming up in a clutch situation. Oops. Glenn Braggs in a clutch situation. Braggs against lefties loses a hit on 2-3. That's it. Everywhere else he's neutral. Hello, world's worst. 4-7. And that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Tollison. 3E22 for Tollison. 3E22. 3 and a 5. 3 and a 5. 3 and a 5 is a G3 pound, but nobody was being held on. So that's okay. And that is an 8. I'm sorry, that is a 9. Now I'm trying to remember where the ground ball went. Drawing a blank here all of a sudden. Don't know why. I think it was short. I was Tollison, that's right. So it's E22, and he's a 9. E22. There's a 615. Nope, no 9. So Tollison is able to make the play, and they are able to minimize the damage to 1 run. 1 run there, but that is an unearned run because that fly ball left field was a B. It would have been a sacrifice fly. I'm sorry, without the air, he would have been out, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So it's definitely an unearned run, but it counts just the same. 2-0 ball game. And Teddy Higuera. I'm going to have to take this thing down. It keeps wanting to slide on me. I don't want to use the pad underneath because that was getting to be annoying. But I think I'm going to need to at least try to secure this to the table somewhat so it doesn't do all that sliding around. It's going to be annoying on the other side. So here's Mike Pagliarulo, third baseman. He'll lead off for the Yankees. Pagliarulo hitting .237 on the replay, 17 homers, 36 driven in. He hit .234 real world. 4-2, and that's a base on balls. First walk issued by Higuera. For Wayne Tollison. If it was still 1-0, I might have him bunt, but down 2-0, we're not going to bunt. We're going to have him swing away. Higuera to Tollison. Tollison hitting .215 on the replay. 2 homers, 15 driven in. He at .221 real world. 6-10, and that's a fly ball center field X. That's Robin Yount. He's a 2E6 for Robin Yount. 2E6. 2 and a 15 is good. No question about it. Get my outfield defensive chart. 2 and a 15. 2 and a 15 is an F2. That's an 11. He is an E6 at center field. There is no 11, so good play for Robin Yount. 1 away. Back to the top of the order, and Willie Randolph. .211 for Randolph. That's a ground ball third base A. That'll be around the horn double play. 5-4-3. It's not the Giovanni's Tailor Shop double play, but it is still a double play nonetheless. Around the horn, 5-4-3 double play. And that will do it for the Yankees. So we go to the 4th inning. Score Milwaukee 2, Yankees nothing. Guidry back out. He'll be facing Schroeder, Gantner, and Castillo, 7, 8, and 9 in the Brewer order. That'll bring up Schroeder. 5-8, and that's a strikeout for Guidry. That is his 3rd strikeout. Schroeder is retired. 1 away for Jim Gantner. Gantner singled his first. 4-10, lefty. And that's an in-home run chance, 1-17. Gantner has weak power, though, so it won't be a home run. It will be a single, though. If it was 18-20, it would have been a double. But since he has weak power, against lefties at least, it's a single. Against righties, that would have been a home run, but not against lefties. So Gantner is on. Let's see. Guidry's a +1. They're going to see if Gantner can get a lead. He needs a 7 to get a good lead. Doesn't get it, so he'll hold. And Castillo, the batter. 5-11, switch hitter batting right-handed. That's a fly ball left field X. That's Mr. Easler. He's a 4E7. 4 and a 10. That's iffy, but I think he gets to it. We'll find out. 4 and a 10. He does not get to it. That's a single. A 3 or better, 1, 2, or 3 fielder would have got to that, but a 4 fielder, it drops in for a single. That's a 10. He's an E7. I don't think there's any error there. Nope. But it's a single 2 stars instead of an out. So again, having bad fielders out there really hurting the Yankees. Runners at the corners now with only 1 out, and there should be a runner at first with 2 outs, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. Here's Castillo trying to get the lead. Needs a 3, 4, 5, or 6. He gets the lead. He's going to go. If he steals, you take the double play out of the equation. 17 being held as a 15. The +1 from Guidry is a 16. 1 to 16, he's in there. And he is. Stolen base for Castillo. And now that's going to force the Yankee infield to come in. Not only does it take away the double play, but it forces the infield to play in for Mike Easler. Oh, for some reason the white die didn't go through. What happened to him? Try again. 6-5. Switch hitter being right-handed. That's a fly ball right field B. That's a sacrifice fly by Felder. That'll score Gantner. It's 3-0 Brewers. Sacrifice fly for Gantner. For Felder, rather. 2 down. Runner at first in Castillo. And here's Robin Yount. He's actually 0 for 2 in this game. 3-10. Make him 0 for 3. Flies to center. But another run. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. Single runs in innings 2, 3, and 4 give the Brewers a 3-0 lead over the Yankees. And it's getting to be crunch time for the Yankees because their offense just is not producing runs. So every little run that Brewers get make it that much harder for the Yankees to do anything. Here's Henry Cotto. Hey, Joel. No, these came from ID Jester. He was kind enough to email me a PDF file of these. So ID Jester is where they came from. You could thank ID Jester. I've thanked him many, many times because they are nice to have. Absolutely nice to have. Here's Henry Cotto. 1-7, and that's a home run. 1 to 4. That's a 15. We'll settle with the double for Henry Cotto. But the Yankees had been here before. We had a leadoff double in the second, and not only did he not score, he didn't even get to third base. So Yankees couldn't even move him up 90 feet. Here's Gary Ward. Ward. 4-8, and that's a strikeout for Higuera. That is strikeout number 3 on the season. Not on the season, but on the game. Strikeout number 97 on the season. Here's Ron Kittle. That's a 6-12, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. That's Castillo, a 4E48. So the Yankees have hope that this can get through on a 4E48. 4-1, it definitely gets through. You don't have to have any hope for that. That's a certified fact. 4-1. 4-1 is a single 2 stars, which will score Cotto for the first run of the game. That's a 13. He's an E48 at shortstop. So we look at the shortstop totals. E48, there's a 6, 12, 15, 3, 16, and 18. No 13, so it won't be an error, but it will be a single 2 stars. Kittle 2 for 2. This one an RBI single, and the Yankees are finally on the board. It's cutting the lead to 3-1. Brings a tying run to the plate in Mike Easler. Hello, Philip. Hello, Jason. Didn't see you come in. 4-6, and that's going to be a single 2 stars, so that's going to move Kittle to third base. Back come the Yankees. When you think they're done with, they managed to Show some life. Easler, no threat to run. He will not be held. Brewers looking for the double play with runners on the corners and one out. Here's Pasqua. That's a 5-5, and doesn't matter where they're playing. 5-5, a 1-16 double. That's a double 2 stars. That'll score Kittle, but Easler will have to stop at third base. But it's now 3-2. Yankees are coming back, and they got the tying and go-ahead runs in scoring position. With only one out for Rick Cerrone. Yankees making a stand. Infield now for the Brewers is in. They're going to cut off a cheap run. 3-6 for Cerrone. That's a ground ball shortstop A. That'll freeze everybody right there. Everybody had to put the brakes on. Not going anywhere. Had they been back, that would have been a run-scoring ground-up that would have tied the game, so they had to play in. And now here's Pagliarulo in a clutch situation. In the clutch against left-handers, he actually gains a couple of hits, 111 and 310. So positive numbers there for Pagliarulo in the clutch. 2-6, though, is going to be a fly to center, and that will end the inning. But the Yankees put 2 on the board, get right back in this game. It's now 3-2 as we go to the 5th here at Yankee Stadium. Milwaukee won this game real world 6-4 with 3 runs in the top of the 9th against Dave Righetti. He blew the save. It was 4-3 going into the 9th, and Righetti blew the save. So nip and tuck was that one. Maybe this one will be nip and tuck as well. Here is Cecil Cooper. 6-5. It's a ground ball to second. Willie Randolph will handle it. 1 down. So, like I said, I'm not sure why Troublehorn's continuing to use Cecil Cooper so much. I guess he kept thinking he was going to come out of his hitting slump or whatever. He never really did. Here's Deer, 4-8. And Deer's going to get himself some extra, actually going to be a single because the 18 there is going to make that a single. So Deer gets his first hit of the game. He is actually, a 7, he gets the lead. So we take that back. A 7, he can obtain the lead and go, but he doesn't get the 7. He'll hold. Here's Pashoric, third baseman. He's 1 for 2. 1-9, and that's a base on balls. Guidry now in trouble. Yankees just got him back in the game, and now he's having some issues. Second walk of the ball game. He really needs one of those Giovanni's tailor-made double plays right about now. Glenn Braggs is 0 for 2. He's got some ground ball A's on his card. 3-6, but he didn't find it. 2-6 would have been a Giovanni's Tailor Shop double play, but a 3-6 is going to be a 1-12 double, 13-20 single. Single 2 stars, RBI single from Glenn Braggs. Scoring is Deer. Going to third is Pashoric. And the Brew Crew extend the lead to 4-2, and they threaten for more. Glenn Braggs a chance to run. 5 or a 6 gets him the good lead. Does not get it. He'll hold. Here's Schroeder. Infield is in. They can't afford to take a chance that there might be a double play. They got to play in. 2-3, and that's going to be a split chance. 1-15 is a single, and that's a base hit for Schroeder, and that will score the run there. So the Brewers get those 2 runs right back that they lost or gave up previously. And just like that, those 2 runs come right back, and the 3-run lead is right back where it was, 5-2. Guidry may be needing some relief. Here's Gantner. 4-6, and that's 1-2 for a single. It'll be a line out to Randolph for out number 2. 2 down for Juan Castillo. Clutch situation again for Castillo. That's a 1, so Guidry's wild pitch rating is a 5. No wild pitch. It's blocked by Cerrone. So Guidry will settle in again to Castillo. 4-3, and that's a base on balls. Third walk issued by Guidry, and it's going to load the bases. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs for Mike Felder. Guidry on the verge of being knocked out of this game. Look at the Yankee bullpen, see who's got the best rest, because they may be needed very shortly. Looks like Rich Bordy is the most rested guy out there. Rich Bordy. And he's got long relief rating. So Rich Bordy loosening in the Yankee bullpen. Guidry, clutch situation with Felder. This could blow the game wide open if it's not already blown open. But Felder in the clutch will gain a hit on 3-10. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2 in. That's a 2 there. Walker pass ball. Looking at the pass ball rating of Cerrone, which is a 9. So it's possible that a pass ball could bring home another run. 1-9. It is not. So Cerrone blocks it. Here's Felder. 3-5 for Felder, and that's a ground ball to Tollefson to end the inning. But 2 runs for the Brewers, and they lead it 5-2 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. And I believe that's going to be all for Mr. Guidry. We will cap him at 5 innings. He just didn't have it today for whatever reason. Not sure what the reason was, but so as we go to the box score, I'll get his totals just to make sure I'm accurate. Guidry, 5 innings pitched, 9 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which were earned, because this one here was unearned. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. And Rich Bordy will be the new Yankee pitcher. He's a +2 hold, and Cerrone's so again a 1 for the hold rating. So Bordy will be the new pitcher going forward. Right now, Higuera got his 3-run lead back, and he's going to face Tollefson, Randolph, and Cotto for the Yankees. Tollefson flew to center his first chance. 4-8, and he's going to strike out. Higuera, strikeout number 4 for Teddy Higuera. And that's actually strikeout 98. So he might get his 100th strikeout in this game. He needs 2 more to get it. He had 240 real world. Here's Randolph. 5-8, and that's another strikeout. So that's strikeout number 99 on the season. Will Henry Cotto be the magic 100 number? 6-2. No, he won't. That's a single 1-10, and that's a base hit for Cotto. Cotto 2 for 3. Normally you think about trying to steal second base here, but you're down by 3, so I don't think you want to take the chance of making that 3rd out on the base pass. So they'll give Gary Ward a chance. See what he can do. 3-3, and he's going to fly it to right field for Braggs to end the inning. So that will do it for the Yankees. At the end of 5, it is Brewers 5, Yankees 2. And we'll bring on Rich Bordy from the Yankee bullpen as Ron Guidry didn't have his good stuff today. So Rich Bordy, your new pitcher. And we'll get the numbers on Bordy on the replay. Once he gets in place, you can see Bordy in real world, 3-1, 7.64 ERA, 33 innings pitched, 42 hits. On the replay for Bordy, he is 1-0 with a 7.45 ERA, so not too far off from that. 10 innings pitched, 13 hits, so pretty much right where he should be as far as his numbers go. Here's Mike Felder. It's a 3-8 this time against a righty now. All the switchers that turnaround bat left-handed. Pop out to short. That's going to be Tollefson. 1 away. 1 down for Robin Yount. Wait a minute, that was Yount. Why did I have Felder up there? I didn't move Felder like I should have. So the at-bat was a 3-5, I think. No, it was a 3-8. So 3-8 for Yount was a ground ball to short. So instead of a pop out to short, it was a ground ball to short. So I need to fix that. And we're going to re-roll for Cecil Cooper. Got them a little bit out of line there. So we changed this result in the computer from a ground out to short, from a pop out to short to a ground out to short. Just to make sure it's accurate. All right, and now we have Cooper up. 1-4 for Cooper, and that's a solid double right there. No question about it. Solid double for Cecil Cooper. Cecil Cooper with the double. And that's going to bring up Rob Deere. (6-9). That's a strikeout for Bordy. 2 down. And that'll send up Jim Paciorek, third baseman. Clutch situation still technically involved, and he loses a hit on 1-7. That's a 4-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. We're checking Henry Cotto. He's a 2E4, so he should get to this. You should get to this on a 2E4. 2 and a 4. I think you'll still get to it. Make sure, though. 2 and a 4, barely. F1 is the last number in the out range. The runners would have advanced. The runner would have advanced to third automatically with less than 2 outs, but he does get to it with an F1. That's a 10, and E4 center fielder. Nope, no 10. So Henry Cotto makes a nice play, saves potentially a run. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. It is still 5-2 Brew Crew. So Bordy. And Bordy can go. He can finish the game if need be. He's got the endurance to finish the game. Give the rest of the bullpen the day off. Here's Gary Ward. So that way Righetti can't blow it in the 9th like he did Real World. So leading off the bottom of the 6th will be Gary Ward. I'm sorry, it'll be Ron Kittle. Gary Ward made the last out of the last inning. I keep forgetting to move the cards across. Good thing I got the computer up to tell me who's at bat. Here's Kittle. 2 for 2 for Kittle. 6-2, might be 3 for 3. 1-10. That's exactly what he is. 3 for 3 for Ron Kittle. So Ron Kittle, 3 hits in the game. Here's the hitman, Mike Easler. .110 for Easler. That's a base on balls. So Yankees trying to claw their way back. They need base runners, and that's what they've got. For Dan Pasqua, still nobody out. They got to avoid that double play. That's the killer. 1-5, and they didn't do it right there. At Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play hit into by Dan Pasqua. Ground ball second base A. That is going to be a 4-6-3 double play. Giovanni's Tailor Shop sponsoring that double play. They are the unofficial sponsor of the channel. They're in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you're in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania, stop by and see them. They tell them Demo sent you. That might give you a discount. But they are the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play of the game. And you just saw it right there. 4-6-3. Couldn't have been any easier if you're the Brewers. 2 down, runner at third and Kittle, and here's Rick Cerrone. A clutch situation for Cerrone. In the clutch, he loses a couple of hits, 3-7 and 3-8. Gets 2-7, though, but he strikes out, so that didn't do much better for him. So first and second, nobody out. Yankees can't score. And that's kind of been a synopsis of the Yankee season here in June with the injuries to Henderson and Mattingly. They've just been flailing and falling out of the pennant race is basically what they've been doing. And they're going to lose this game, they'll drop another game back. So here's Glenn Braggs. Glenn Braggs, 1 for 3. .69, that's a strikeout for Rich Bordy. I know some people who have ordered the new stuff from Strat-O-Matic are concerned because of the snowstorm and not getting their cards shipped and everything. But just be patient. Patience is a virtue. I mean, heck, the season ended in October, early November. And we're almost into March now. So you waited this long, you can wait a little bit longer. It's not like the newness of the 25 season is going to go away. But here is Schroeder. 5-6, and that's a strikeout there. 2 down. But as I discussed with Replay Gamer, it'd be nicer if they could do it, if they could release the season around Christmas time. That way the 25 season is still fresh in your mind. But right now everybody's thinking about 26 because spring training's already started. So going back to 25 now seems like old hat if you're doing a season replay. Now, if you're doing one of those draft league things, it probably doesn't matter. But if you're doing a season replay, that 25 season is no longer fresh in your mind. Hello, DJ from the left coast. Here's Gantner. 5-7, and that's base on balls. Now, I know if that, there are 1,200 hours of research might bump into that, but, I don't know. Maybe they can hire some extra people to do some ratings for them. Here is Castillo. 3-7, and that's another base on balls. Back-to-back walks issued by Bordy after getting 2 strikeouts. So first and second, 2 down for Mike Felder. Clutch situation for Felder. In the clutch against righties, he gains a hit on 111 and on 2-2. 4-9, switcher to batting left. That's a single, 2 stars, and that'll pop another run on the board for the Brewers. All this with 2 outs and nobody on. RBI single from Felder. Makes it now a 6-2 ball game. Mike Felder now with several RBIs, a sacrifice fly for 1 run batted in, second batted in here, plus he scored a run with a triple in the 3rd inning, so he's done well as a leadoff guy. He's looking to run or potentially take a jump here, 6 through 8. He gets the 8, but there's also 1 chance he's picked off. His get back number is 15, so 1 to 15 he's safe. 16 to 20 he's picked off. He's back barely with a 15, so Felder will hold. And here's Robin Yount. 1-2 is a Lomax injury. Lomax to third base with an injury. He lines it to Pagliarulo to end the inning, but we might have a game day injury on Robin Yount. We'll go to our injury chart. And this is the injury chart I use for game day injuries. 1 to 6, he can stay in the game. 7 or higher, he's got to come out. He's got to come out. So Robin Yount will have to leave the game. And the Brewers will need a new center fielder. So we'll see who they want to go to off their bench. Who they have that can play center field. Well, Felder can move to center for sure. But we got a guy named Rick Manning. He's pretty good too. So they'll go and put Rick Manning in center field. They want, with a big lead like this, they want their best defender. So Rick Manning will take over in center field in the 7th. He's better than Yount. He's about the same as Yount, 2E15 versus 2E6. But he does have a 0 arm, so a little bit better arm there. So Rick Manning will take over in center field for the injured Robin Yount. Bring him on in the computer. Rick Manning. Oh, wrong side. I didn't want that. I wanted Manning, not the other guy. Rick Manning. There you are. All right, this is Teddy Higuera's fatigue inning, number 7. It is a 7th inning stretch, but we're just going to keep rolling on here. It'll be Pagliarulo due up for the Yankees. 6-11, and that's a ground ball first base X. That's Rob Deere, a 4E24 for Rob Deere. 4 and a 4. That's going to get by him for a base hit. Absolutely. See if there's an error. And also 12, and he's an E24 at first base. E24 There's a 12 right there, smack dab in the middle. And then the 4 and the 4 is a single. So it's a single plus an error on Mr. Deere. Single plus the E3. And that'll put Pagliarulo to second base with nobody out. Here's Wayne Tollison. Actually, they're going to pinch hit for Tollison. We're in the 7th inning now, so pinch hitting is allowed. And they will go to Bobby Meacham. And Meacham will take his place at shortstop. He's a better hitter. Not as good of a defender, but you're down 6-2. You need offense. So Bobby Meacham will pinch hit in the 7th and stay at shortstop in the 8th. Bobby Meacham. You never know if he's on the train to Columbus or from Columbus. It was a merry-go-round there at some points for the Yankees. So Meacham is on. On the replay for Meacham, he is hitting .444. He's 4 for 9. Obviously limited duty. He's .271 real world. Can't tell a lot from 9 at bats, though. So Higuera to Meacham. 1-8 from Meacham. That's a double, 1-14. That's a 15. It'll be a single, 2 stars, and he'll score the run. RBI single from Bobby Meacham. RBI single from Meacham. If you're curious, Tollison on the 1-8 would have struck out. So obviously brilliant managing there. You don't see that on that other channel. We play chess here, not checkers. We're serious when we play Strat. All right, so Meacham is on. See if he no, he can get a lead, but he's not very successful at it. So they'll hold him on, but he won't try to go anywhere. Here's Willie Randolph. 4-11, and that's a fly ball right field X. We're looking at Bragg's 3E13 for Bragg's. 3-12. Should get to that. 3-12 is an F2. That's a 16, though. That could be an issue. He's an E13 with a 16. That's a pretty high error rating. E13, but he got lucky. There's a 15 and a 17, but no 16. So Braggs will make the play, and that's 1 away. Shaky, but he made it. 1 down for Henry Cotto. Winfield is around on the bench, but they're going to try to use a higher leverage situation to pinch hit with him. They want him with people on base and with the score a little bit closer. Here's Cotto, 2-2. That's a pop out to short. That is out number 2. And Gary Ward, your batter. 6-3 Brewers, bottom of the 7th. Here's Gary Ward. 5-6, and that's a 1-12 is a double. That's a 6. It's a double. It is assumed to go. Well, now here's the one that always baffles me on Strat-O-Matic, because the rule book says that if it's not specifically stated, it's supposed to be assumed to go to center field. But when the out chance is a left field, I'm assuming it goes to left field. It makes sense that it goes to left field. So this double, I'm going to assign it to the left fielder, not the center fielder. So the left fielder is Felder. He's got a +1 arm. Meacham, the runner, was not being held. And let's see, he runs. Meacham runs at a 15. Not being held is a 16. 2 outs is an 18. +1 is a 19. And so they're going to allow him to score on the double and hold Ward at second base, because Ward would have taken third without it. So RBI double from Gary Ward cuts the lead to 6-4. Higuera is now tired. So the Brewer bullpen starting to stir. Ron Kittle, the batter, he's 3 for 3 off of Mr. Higuera. Now it's a clutch situation, which he loses a couple of hits here. 3-10 and 2-7. Higuera trying to bear down, maintain this lead. 5-8, and he struck him out, but he's tired. He hit the fatigue number. So it's going to turn to a base hit, 2 stars. And we got a tie. We got a 6-5 game now, and that's going to be it for Higuera. My rule is when you're tired and you hit the dot, you come out automatically. So maybe one batter too many for Higuera. They're trying to get him through the inning, but just didn't work out. 3 runs will come in. And now this run is definitely earned because of the E3 only moved him to second base. All these other activities would have scored him. So all the runs against Higuera will be earned. It is now a 6-5 ball game. So coming in for the Brew Crew out of their bullpen, Easler, a lefty, is due up. Kind of early for Plesac. And John Henry Johnson, their lefty, is terrible. We might bring him in anyway because that's what Trebelhorn probably would have done. And you got to use the guy eventually. I mean, it's just you can't like avoid him constantly. You're going to have to use him. So he's in there to face the 2 lefties, and that's it. He's going to be facing Mike Easler. So John Henry Johnson will be coming on for the Brewers. He is a -2 hold, which makes him a -1. In the real season, 0-1 with a 9.57 ERA. In the replay, he is 2-0, but his ERA is 16.76 in just 10 innings. He's given up 22 hits and also walked 12. So Easler is in there. Hello, Joel. Hello, John. Good to see you. So Kittle is at first with 2 out. That's a 2. And fortunately, the Cards have the numbers on them. So we're checking balk or pass ball. He can't balk. Pass ball on Schroeder's a 2. If we get to that, it's a balk chance, and he cannot balk. So you'll stay in to pitch to Easler. 6-12, ground ball, first base X. That's Rob Deere again, 4E24. Ooh, that's rough. 4-2. That's going to get through for a base hit. 4-2 is going to be a single 2 stars, so that will move Kittle to third base. That one, though, not necessarily Johnson's fault. That's a bad first baseman's fault. That's a 12, and he is an E24 at first base. And there's an error right there, so second error of the game on Rob Deere, and that's going to score Kittle to tie the ball game. Second time we've had a single and an error on Rob Deere in this inning. Second error of the inning. The inning started that way. It's going to continue this way. So it's a single plus an error on Rob Deere. That's what the Brewers get for putting him at first base. And we are tied at 6 apiece. Here's Dan Pasqua. Can't blame Johnson, though. I mean, he got the ground ball he needed, just didn't get the fielding he needed. Here's Pasqua. Clutch situation for Pasqua. He loses a hit on 1-3. Gets a 1-6, which is a strikeout. So Johnson gets out of it after that. That's going to be it for Johnson. Johnson will go a third of an inning, give up a hit and a strikeout. No runs. All 6 runs are charged. But there's a lot of unearned runs going on there. So Higuera went 6 2/3. We'll go to the computer to get his numbers. Yankees put a Abraham Lincoln 4-score inning on the board here in the 7th, and we got a 6-6 tie as we go to the top of the 8th. So let's go to the computer and get the numbers. First of all, we need to put Meacham in at short. The computer is telling me. You got to put Meacham in at short because he pinch hit for Tollison. Then we go to the Strat computer to get the official numbers of Higuera for the day. He will not get the win like he had thought he was going to get, but Guidry will not take the loss either. 6 2/3, 11 hits, so he wasn't really all that sharp. 6 runs, 5 earned. 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. So some shoddy fielding has hurt the Brewers. Those 2 errors by Deere, definitely a bad situation. So Higuera is out of the game. Johnson is out of the game. Bordy is still in the game for the Yankees. As we start the top of the 8th, it'll be Cooper, Deere, and Paciorek do it for the Brew Crew. And now a brand new ball game, 6-6. 6 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors for the Brewers. 6 runs, 12 hits, and 1 error for the Yankees. So pretty even game there. Here's Cooper, 6-3. That's a fly ball, left field X. We're looking at Easler, 4-E-7, another shaky fielder. 4-E-7, 4-18, though he caught a break. He'll get to that. 4-18 is an F2, but that's a 14, and he's an E7. There's a 15 and a 16, but no 14. So Easler catches a break, makes the play. So just when I thought it was going to be a Brewer blowout, the Yankees come up with 4 in the 7th, thanks to 2 errors by Deere. And speaking of Deere, he's at the plate. 1-5, and he struck him out. So he's been having a rough go of it. That's the 3rd strikeout for Deere. He's got the hat trick. And here is Jim Paciorek. 2-10 for Paciorek, and he grounds it to short to end the inning. And the Brew Crew are going to make a defensive change. They're tired of seeing Rob Deere at first base. They're going to bring in a new first baseman, somebody, anybody at this point. So go to the computer, make that change. So let's see who they got on the bench that they can bring in. Greg Brock is not on the roster, but they could move Paciorek to first base and bring in somebody else. Or they could bring in Billy Joe Robideau, although he's not much better. 4-E20, same as Deere, is Robideau. Man, you know what? We might just have to keep it, because everybody they have that can play first base on their roster is a 4 with a high error rating. So you know what? We're going to keep Rob Deere in the game. We're going to keep Rob Deere in the game. We're not going to take him out. Greg Brock is on the injured list, so they would normally go with him, but that's not going to be the case now. So we go to the bottom of the 8th with a 6-6 ball game. The Yankees will need a new pitch. The Brewers, rather, will need a new pitcher. Right-handed action in their bullpen. Let's see who they want to go to. Who's got the best rest? Looks like Chris Bosio, and he can deliver several innings of pitching. So Chris Bosio will be coming on for the Brewers. And he is a +1, which makes him a +2. Chris Bosio. And he'll be facing Cerrone, Pagliarulo, and Meacham. Meacham is here. So Cerrone, Pagliarulo, and Meacham are your scheduled hitters for the Yankees. Remember, Dave Winfield is still lurking on the bench. Could come up in a key situation. "5-2. That's a fly ball to center field. Rick Manning, the new center field. I got to remember to put Manning in here. Remember, Yount got hurt. So Manning's the center fielder. So Manning makes the play. 1 down for Pagliarulo. 2-3, and that's a pop out to third. 2 quick outs. Failed to give you the numbers on Bosio. Should have done that. On the real season, 11-8 with 2 saves and a 5.24 ERA. Split his time between relieving and starting. In the replays, 1-0 with 4 saves and a 5.59 ERA. So here's Meacham. 1-8 for Meacham, a 1-5 double, but that's going to be a fly to left. And we're going to the 9th inning, all tied at 6. Rich Bordy back out. His 3rd inning of work. He certainly got the fatigue to go 4 or 5 innings. So Paciorek made the last out. So it's going to be Braggs, Schroeder, and Gantner due up for the Brewers. Braggs is 1 for 4. 2-7, make him 2 for 5. That's a leadoff single for Glenn Braggs. Leadoff single for Braggs, and he has a chance to get a good lead. He needs a 5 or a 6. Doesn't get it. He's got to hold. So Braggs will hold, and here comes Schroeder. Unless the Brewers want to pinch hit for somebody that can bunt, because sometimes the play here is to play for that winning run, to get that winning run in scoring position. The only good, well, they do have B.J. Surhoff that can bunt. So B.J. Surhoff is going to come on, pinch hit for Schroeder, stay in the game and catch. So B.J. Surhoff will pinch hit in the 9th and then catch in the 9th. So B.J. Surhoff. So it's going to be Surhoff. Surhoff on the replay. Let's bring him on the computer so I can see what he's doing here. Double duty action, cards and dice on the table plus the computer. So that leaves Molitor, Swain, and Robideau on the bench for the Brewers. They still are the bench players remaining. Surhoff hitting .328 on the replay, 6 homers, 21 driven in. He hit .299 real world. Surhoff is up. Now the problem with bunting, though, is you're turning it over to the lower part of the order, but they've actually done pretty well. So we're going to have Surhoff bunt. He is an A bunter, he becomes a B bunter. Let's see where the bunt's going to go. It's a 1, so it's going right back to Rich Bordy. And we're looking right here at the chart. And a 1 or a 2 says it goes to the pitcher, so that's a 1. He's a B bunter, so we basically need a 9 or less for him to have a good bunt. 10, 11, and 12 is a little iffy. That's a 2, so it's definitely a good sacrifice for B.J. Surhoff. So the Brewers are playing for 1 run. Whether they get the 1 run or not is a different story. Sacrifice hit 1-4. And now Braggs, who runs at a 15, so he runs pretty well. On a single without stars, he could still probably score. So sacrifice bunt. And now the go-ahead run is at second base. And here's Jim Gantner. That's a 5-11. That's a ballpark single check. I mean, I had too many ballpark checks. That's a 1-7. That fails. So that'll be a line out to second base for out number 2. And now it's up to Castillo in the clutch. He's reached base 3 times, walking twice and having a single as well. Clutch situation for Castillo. He loses hits in the clutch on 310, and that's it. Everywhere else he's neutral. 310 is his only anti-clutch. 2-3, and that's a hit by pitch, so he gets plunked by Rich Bordy. Put runners at first and second now for Felder. Now we wonder if the Yankees might go to their bullpen. It is no longer a save situation when you're the home team. You can't get a save now. So they may very well go to Righetti if he's rested. Let's see if he's rested or not. He is. So Dave Righetti coming on. Try to pick up Bordy. Bordy goes 3 2/3. Did very well for himself, all things considering, but Dave Righetti will take over. See if he can go from, see if he can go from rags to riches and not go from riches to rags. Righetti. Felder is a switch hitter, so it doesn't matter righty or lefty for him. Let's see. Righetti is a -5 hold. Best you can have, pretty much. He's going to deal with Mike Felder in a clutch situation. In the clutch against lefties, Felder will gain a hit on 310. That's his only difference. So on the replay, Righetti is 3-2 with a 3.68 ERA and 14 saves. Real world, he was 8-6, 3.51 ERA with 31 saves. Clutch situation here for Felder. See what we can do against Righetti. He's already singled and tripled in this game. 4-9 for Rigetti against a switcher batting right-handed is going to be a line out to short, and he gets out of the inning. So we go to the bottom of the ninth, still tied at 6 as Rigetti gets him out of the mess. And we'll get the numbers on Rigetti, finish his sheet in, to finish that off. First of all, the Strat computer is making me put catcher for Surhoff so we can clean him up. Now we go to the box score to get the numbers on Bordy. Rich Bordy, 3 2/3, 3 hits and a run, 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. So he certainly held the fort down and allowed his team to come back. But now it's a game between Rigetti and Basio. Rigetti and Basio, the pitchers of record. It's going to be the top of the order, Randolph, Cotto, and Ward. But again, Winfield is lurking. They don't have much else. They got Winfield, they got backup catcher Mark Salas, and they got Len Sakata. Those are the 3 bench players remaining because they already used Meacham. So here's Randolph against Basio. Bottom of the ninth, tied at 6. 1-7, and that's a ground ball to short. And Castillo will make the play, 1 away for Henry Cotto. Cotto is 2 for 4. 4-6, and that is a single 1-3. That's a 12. So a line drive right to Castillo at short, 2 down. We may be looking at extra innings unless Gary Ward can do something spectacular. 2-7, and he strikes out. I guess that was pretty spectacular. And we are going to extra innings, tied at 6. At the end of 9, it's 6 runs, 12 hits, and 2 errors for the Brewers, 6 runs, 12 hits, and 1 error for the Yankees. About as even as you can get it. Rigetti back out. He faced 1 batter, so he's certainly not tired. He'll be facing Manning, who came in for the injured Yount. So we get a lefty-lefty matchup. Then it's Cooper and Deere, unless the Brewers want to go to they still have Paul Molitor sitting there. So Molitor may be coming on to pinch hit for Cooper. In fact, it's probably a no maybe to it. I think he will. But Rick Manning will start things off against Rigetti. 5-6. That's a strikeout for Rigetti. Strikes out Manning. And now they will go to the bench for Paul Molitor. He will pinch hit for Cooper. He's on the roster, so I'm going to use him. Molitor pinch hitting for Cooper. Cooper is done for the day. As a scam call comes in, just what I needed. So Cooper ends the day 1 for 5 with a double. Molitor taking over. So Paul Molitor will be the DH going forward. He will pinch hit here in the 10th. Paul Molitor. So now we got Molitor as the DH. So on the replay, Molitor is hitting .398, 7 home runs, 39 driven in. He hit .353 real world. Facing Rigetti. 6-5, and that's going to be a solid single for Paul Molitor. Pinch hit single for Molitor. And whether he's injured or not, his card says he can run, so I'm going to trust that. He's going to try to get that lead despite the -5 hold. He doesn't care. 6, he gets the lead. He's going to go. 19 being held as a 17, -5 to 12. 1 is still a 60% chance. And he's in there, stolen base. Undeterred by the -5. He steals the base. So Paul Molitor making his impact right here. And now you got the interesting guy here, Rob Deere, coming up. He's been maligned with these 2 errors, and he struck out 3 times, but he's got a chance here to redeem himself. A lot of diamond shots against left-handers. See what we can do here against Rigetti. That's a 1-3. It's a ballpark single check, 1-7, but that's a 13, so he lines it to short. Out number 2. And that brings up Jim Paciorek, third baseman, in a clutch situation against lefties. He loses a hit on 1-7 and 1-12. So he loses a couple of hits there. Righetti trying to get through the inning. 4-10. Fly ball center field X. That's Cotto, 2E4. 2E4 in center field. 2-11, he'll get to it. 2-11 is no issue at all. 2-11 is an F2. That's a 7. He is an E4. There is no 7 there, so good play for Cotto, and that will end the inning. And that'll be it for Righetti, I think. Don't want to wear him out. So Righetti, an inning and a third, and he's going to give up a hit, gets a strikeout, nothing else. And if it goes to the 11th, they will probably go to Tim Stoddard. So I'm thinking they're going to go to. Basio still in there, and he's been pitching well since he's come in. He's retired all 6 he has faced. So no reason to pull him for any reason. Ron Kittle. Kittle is 4 for 4 in this game. Interesting. Basio to Kittle. 6-7 for Basio. Ground ball second base X. That's Gantner. So Gantner is a 2E14 for Gantner. 2 and an 8. He'll get to that. No issues. That's an 8, and he's an E14 at second base. There is no 8 there. The 2 and the 8 is a G2. So easy play there for Gantner. First time they've retired Kittle, 1 away for Mike Easler, the hitman. Easler's had a good day. He's 2 for 3. 3-9 for Easler, and he's going to ground it to second. That's going to go to Gantner as well. So Gantner makes 2 plays in a row for 2 quick outs, and Dan Pasqua, the batter. Pasqua, 1 for 4. He's got the pop to get this thing to end this game with 1 swing of the bat, though. 3-3. Won't do it here. He grounds it to Gantner. So all 3 outs are ground balls to Gantner. And we're going to the 11th inning. And the Yankees will bring on a new pitcher. Basio has retired all 9 he has faced. So he might be around a while. Coming up for the Brewers, it'll be Braggs, Surhoff, and Gantner. So right, left, and a switch. Or I'm sorry, right, and 2 lefts. So might not be Stoddard. They might go to a lefty out of the bullpen. Let's see. They still have Clements in their bullpen. I've got him pulled out as if he's on the roster, so I'll check it with the computer. Make sure. Yep, he's there, and he's pretty well rested. So lefty Pat Clements will be coming on for the Yankees to pitch the 11th inning. He is a -3 hold, so it makes him a -4. So that definitely is going to help with the holding base runner thing. Due up for the Brewers, scheduled, Braggs, Surhoff, and Gantner, your scheduled hitters. So Glenn Braggs will start things off here in the top of the 11th. Clements on the replay is 0-2 with 3 saves and a 4.60 ERA. Real world, he was 3-3 with 7 saves and a 4.95 ERA. 2-11 for Braggs, and he gets hit by the pitch. How about that? He gets plunked. I'm sure that was not intentional. They do not want to put the go-ahead run on first base. Braggs, that potentially could get the lead, but that -4 might deter him. Again, he got Surhoff as a good bunter, but last time they bunted and they got stranded there, so they're going to let him swing away this time. Even though it's lefty-lefty, they're going to let him swing away. So here's Surhoff. 1-8, and that's a base on balls. So all of a sudden, Clement's having some issues with control. First and second, nobody out. And that's going to bring up Jimmy Gantner. If he can bunt, it would definitely be a bunt situation. He's a B bunter. They're going to try to put it down. He'll be a C bunter, but they're going to go for it. They got to get those runners in scoring position. So the white die says the bunt goes back to Clements, but he's now a C bunter. So we'll check our C bunting, and he basically needs a 1-8, or 2-8, I should say. 2-8 is a good bunt. That's a 5, and that's a good sacrifice. So good play there by Gantner. He gets the bunt down, right back to Clements. And now infield will come in for the Yankees with 1 out and runners at second and third. Batter is the switch-hitting Castillo, and he's been all over the base. He's reached base 3 times in a row without the benefit of a hit, 2 walks and a hit by pitch. See what he can do here with the infield in. Clements to Castillo. 5-8. Switch hitter batting right-handed is a ground ball shortstop X. Unfortunately, that's Meacham. We brought him in for offense, but you pay the price on defense. Meacham at shortstop is a 4E29. 4E29 in a clutch defensive situation. This could be very problematic. 4 and a 4 is definitely problematic. That's going to get through for a 2-run single. 4 and a 4 is a single 2 stars. But even if you had Tollison a 3E22, you'd get the same result. It would just be 1 star. That's an 18. This could add insult to injury right here because he is we said he was an E29, and that's an 18. 18s are terrible for errors. So E29 and 18 is a 2-base error. So it's going to be a single and a 2-base error to go along with it. So Castillo, a single and a 2-base error by Meacham puts him all the way to third base. But the single will make both these runs earned. And the Brewers now lead it 8-6. Third error or second error by the Yankees. And it is now 8-6. Felder, your batter, still only 1 out. That really wasn't Clemens' fault. That was just bad defense. The play should have been made. So the infield's in again with the runner at third. Have to be. They don't have any choice. They have to be in. 3-3 is a ground ball shortstop B. They don't get the runner at the plate. They will throw out Castillo at the plate on a ground ball B with the infield in. So this time Meacham makes a good play. It goes 6-2 on the fielder's choice. They will get the lead runner. And now with 2 outs, here comes Rick Manning. Felder, up by 2 runs. They won't try to steal anything. They'll just let it play out. For 7, and that is a ground ball second base X, Willie Randolph. 2E17. And now Dan Plesac's going to come in and pitch the bottom of the 11th for the Brewers. 2E16 on Randolph, 2E17 on Randolph. 2 and a 2, that's trouble. 2 and a 2 is a single 1 star, which will move Felder to second base. That's an 11. He's an E17. No 11, but it will be a base hit for Manning. Put runner first and second, so some shoddy fielding by the Yankees. And here comes Molitor again. Up against Clements. Actually, Yankees are going to the bullpen. They're going to go to a right-hander. They don't want they're going to go to Cecilio Guante out of the bullpen. Check that. Stoddard. That's who I wanted originally, Stoddard. So it'll be Stoddard out of the bullpen. His job is to get Paul Molitor out, plain and simple. We'll do the numbers on Clemens after the inning's over. So Clemens didn't pitch well, but not all of it was his fault. Some shoddy defense came into play as well. So Tim Stoddard making his way on. Stoddard on the replay is 5-4 with a 3.72 ERA and 1 save. In the real season, 4-3, 3.50 ERA and 8 saves. Clutch at bat for Paul Molitor against Stoddard. That's a 5-5, and it'll be a strikeout for Stoddard, and that will end the inning. That 5-5 strikeout is dot there, but it doesn't matter. Not tired as the first batter he faces, so he struck him out to end the inning. So we can close the book on Clemens now. Close the book on Basio as well as closer. Dan Plesac will be coming in for the Brew Crew. Go to the box score and get all the totals. First, though, we're going to bring in Plesac. Now we go get the totals on Clemens and on Basio from the box score. So Basio, 3 innings. Actually, don't need the computer for him. He got everybody out. 1 strikeout, nothing else. I mean, he definitely, if he gets the win, he would definitely deserve it for sure. Plesac -2. Surhoff, the catcher, is a 0, so it's a -2 for Plesac. Clemens is going to go 2/3 of an inning, give up 2 hits and 2 runs, only 1 of which was earned. 1 walk, no strikeouts. So Plesac is in to try to close the deal. Cerrone, Pagliarulo, and Meacham are your scheduled hitters. So Rick Cerrone coming on to try to get something started here for the Yankees. 4-8, and that's a strikeout for Plesac to start the bottom of the 11th. Plesac strikes him out. Pagliarulo is going to be pinch hit for by Dave Winfield. So Winfield will make his way in, and he will pinch hit for the lefty Pagliarulo. They don't like Pagliarulo's chances against the lefties, so they will bring in Winfield to pinch hit against Plesac. Get the numbers on Winfield. If it does go to a 12th inning, they can bring in Len Sakata to play third base. Winfield on the replay hitting .258, 12 homers, 35 driven in. He at .275 real world. 3-6 against the lefty. He draws a base on ball, so a walk to Winfield. And that brings the tying run to the plate. That's all you can ask for in a game like this. You want the tying run at the plate. And it's Bobby Meacham and Willie Randolph. They'll have 2 chances there. So Meacham, a 2, chance for a balk or a pass ball. We're looking at a pass ball chance on Surhoff. See what his pass ball rating is. Surhoff pass ball rating is a 5. No pass ball. Meacham. 1-6 against the lefty. Struck him out. Boy, 1-7, he had a home run chance, but 1-6 is a strikeout. And now it comes down to Willie Randolph. Randolph is your last chance if you're the Yankees. Cotto on deck, but Randolph is the man right now, and he is 0 for 5 is Willie Randolph. You could say he is due. .5-3 against Plesac is a fly ball right field X. We're looking at Braggs. Braggs is a 3E13. This to finish the game. 3-11. He should get to that, you would think. 3-11 should be caught. 3-11 is an F2. That's an 11. He is an E13. E13, there's a 12 and a 15, but no 11. So Glenn Braggs tracks it down, makes the catch, and the ball game is over. Brewers win it by the score of 8-6. Basio the win. The save to Plesac is his 14th of the season. And the loss will go to Clemens. Started a third of an inning, got a strikeout, but nothing else. And now we'll get the totals and set you up for tomorrow's game between the Red Sox and the Tigers at Tiger Stadium. That'll be tomorrow's game. So we go to the box score, get the final results. Yankees lose a heartbreaker, and the Brewers extend the lead. Brewers now 39-19. Yankees now 36-26. So it's 8 runs, 15 hits, and 2 errors for the Brewers. 6 runs, 12 hits, and 2 errors for the Yankees. Plesac pitched the 9th inning, gave up a walk, but he struck out 2. Player of the game, if you had to give one, I'd give it to Chris Basio. He pitched 3 innings of perfect relief after the Higuera had blown it and allowed the Yankees to tie it. He kept the Yankees at bay for the last three innings, and then of course Plesac picked it up in the 11th to win it. So there's the ball game right there, 8-6 your final. And as we look ahead to tomorrow's game, Boston and Detroit from Tiger Stadium. Bruce Hurst will be taking on Jack Morris. That'll be the pitching matchup for that one. And that will be the game tomorrow. Hopefully closer to 9 o'clock than it was today, Tabby willing and internet willing. So Milwaukee has jumped back into a tie with Toronto in first place. The Yankees now drop 5 games back. And in fact, the Tigers are only 1 game back of the Yankees for third place. So the Yankees have dropped to 36-26 after the Yankees. And in real world, they were 37-25, so they're pretty much right where they're supposed to be. Detroit on the replay is 33-25. Real world, at this point, they were 31-27, so only a 2-game difference, not bad. Boston is 23-38, and real world, they were 28-33, so they're 5 games in the hole there. But Jack Morris and Bruce Hurst, a good pitching matchup, although Bruce Hurst is 2-8 on the replay. But 2 big names there for tomorrow, Bruce Hurst and Jack Morris. And they'll be going at it tomorrow morning in the 1987 replay. So I do thank all of you for spending part of your Tuesday morning with me. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.